Guy in between us is the head coach of the reigning regular season Southern Conference women's soccer champs and the number 1 seed going in to the Southern Conference tournament, Andrew Burr. Good to see you again. Congratulations.
Thank you, sir.
Now I'm going to turn your mic up. How about that?
There you go. Yeah, much better.
That's what you get for holding out on us for the last few weeks. Hey, we were talking, I was talking to Clay Hendricks the other day, and we were talking about all the different facets of a football game that makes things, you can do so many things well in one little area, breaks down, you get an injury here, injury there. And we were talking about Clemson and everything that happened, and suddenly their kicker goes down, their All-American kicker. And he brought up the point, he said, well, back when I played, Andrew Burr came out and kicked for us one year, and was a big part of what they did. So.
Yeah, that was desperation mode. You know that, right? Absolute desperation.
On whose part?
Yes. Well, I think everybody, apparently. Yeah.
What year was that?
That was 1991, and was finishing up in the spring, and Jimmy Satterfield came to our soccer coach and said, we need a kicker. We don't care who it is. So I was one of the few seniors, so they presented it to me, and I said, listen, I know nothing about this sport. I went to a small private school in Atlanta, didn't even have a football team, so I'd never physically seen a football game before. I never played in a football game before. And the next thing you know, I'm kicking against Georgia Tech in front of 40,000 people thinking, what in the world am I doing here?
And how'd that work out for you?
Actually went pretty well. It went pretty well. That was the Georgia Tech year. I think we lost maybe 19-17. Scott Sisson hit a field goal to finish it. But that was one of those games where we were in it. I mean, we were in it until the very last 30 seconds.
What was there a moment when you came out to practice and Satterfield had to do what the Gene Hackman coach character did in the replacements and remind the kicker, remember, it's over the bar and not under.
Yes. But different than the replacements, I wasn't smoking a cigarette on the sideline.
Or while you were getting ready to kick. Hey, congratulations again. Heck of a regular season. I know the work's not done yet, but still, this is one of the goals I know, and a long year. A lot of blood, sweat, and tears have gone into it.
It's been a great run, and it's been fun as a staff. We met this morning and kind of went over, and we like to go over our team goals kind of every couple weeks. And it's amazing that you can get this far into the season. We're 95% done, and pretty much all of our goals are still intact and accomplished. We don't want our team to get too complacent with, oh, wow, this is wonderful. We're SoCon champs. This feels so good. We still have some more work to do. And for us, the preseason goals were win the SoCon regular season, which we've done, win the SoCon tournament, which in fairness, that gets you the automatic berth to the NCAA tournament. So we still have a lot of work to do.
Your last 2 games, you faced Chattanooga, and that was a barn burn until the end, and then Sanford. Can you talk about those 2 games on Friday and Saturday this past weekend?
Yeah, we really approached this weekend like a business trip. And we have fun, and it's a great group, and we enjoy each other's company, but it was a business trip. Chattanooga is a tough place to play. They play in the football stadium. It's the turf. It's got the football lines. I don't know what that thing holds. It probably holds 25,000, 30,000 people.
Finley Stadium is what you're talking
about.
Yeah,
Finley, and there's obviously very few people in there, so it feels just very odd to be in there.
Cavernous.
It is, very much so. Nice work, Dan.
GRE road right there, Dan.
No college degree. Yeah.
So it's a unique place to play, and the turf makes the game very different. We actually got to train out here. Coach Hendricks let us use the football stadium last week a couple times, just the way the ball rolls and your footing and the way it skips. There's a lot to it.
Faster game?
Much faster. It's much faster. So yeah, it was a good weekend for us. We had to work hard, and Molly Dwyer, our senior leading goal scorer, has had a great season, but she just finds a way to score goals, and she tucked one away in overtime, and we moved on to Sunday to head down to play Sanford and Birmingham, and that was, again, a very business-like approach to how to win a SoCon championship.
Forrest asked you a very interesting question before we went on the air coming back from the break because of the nature of the sport. You knew going in that all you needed was a tie to win a share of the the championship or be the regular season champion. Force wanted to know if there was a scoreless at the end of the game and the scoreless tie where both teams celebrating.
Yeah, the answer is no. Both teams didn't celebrate, which is probably good. That would have been awkward. But it does make our sport unique, and the point system associated with wins, 3 points for a win, 1 point for a tie, 0 points for a loss. So we knew going in that a tie secures us as SoCon champs and the number 1 seed in the tournament. So we played a little bit more defensively than we normally would, but not too drastically different. We were playing to win, and Sanford was as well. And it turned out to be a good game and 2 really good teams. And in fairness, it was probably deserving of a tie.
Your first SoCon tournament game will come on Sunday, and you'll either face ETSU or Wofford, who play tonight. Well, can you talk about those 2 teams, and would you prefer one or the other? Or
really want it. I mean, they're both very strong teams. They both have some unique aspects to them. So ETSU, a large number of international student athletes. They have some unbelievable players. They are gifted. They are really, really strong. They lost in the finals last year, and they have basically the identical team. So they can be very dangerous. Wofford has a young lady, Haley Youngener, who is leading the nation in scoring right now.
Wow.
So when you're playing teams like that, you've got to be on your toes. You've got to do your scouting report. Your players have to be focused. You have to know what your role is. This isn't a case of the number 1 seed is playing the number 8 seed and we just roll the balls out and we know we're going to win because we got Furman on the front of the jersey. And that's a compliment, I guess, to the Southern Conference. From top to bottom, it has gotten so much better that anybody can win or lose on this date. So, either team would be fine. Now, in fairness, in the regular season, we played probably our best soccer against both those teams. I think we won 5-0 against both ETSU and Wofford, which were our two big victories of the year. So I don't expect that again on Sunday, but I'm going to try to give the girls a pep talk to tell them to do it again and see what happens.
You'll take 3-0.
I will take 1-0 at this point. I will take 1-0.
This is Andrew Burr, the women's soccer coach here at Furman. They are the regular season champs, number 1 seed going into the Southern Conference tournament, which will begin for Furman with a home game, and then the semifinals and finals move to Birmingham with Sanford as the host. If I counted correctly on your roster here, you've got 8 seniors.
Correct.
Is that right? So to be champs here in their senior season of the regular season going in, I mean, there's an opportunity here for a storybook finish to get into the NCAA tournament. So do you talk about that with them as a group? Or
a little bit. I think the team recognizes it, and it's a group of 8 seniors, and we have a transfer, Jenny Allen, who's a 5th-year senior for us, so it's really 9 technically. And they are so close with the team that I can kind of feel that the team wants this for them, which is nice. I mean, I'm a 48-year-old bald-headed man, and they like playing for me, but there's not that same I want to win it for. They want to win it for their teammates and their best friends, and I think they like winning for me too, but I think it's just a different aspect to it. So we do have an opportunity for kind of a storybook ending, and I think the way this season is unfolded so far, I mean, undefeated in SoCon play. I think we scored 20 goals and 1 goal against in that run. I mean, we're setting a lot of records this senior year for them, and I'm certainly proud of them. So they have a nice opportunity in front of them.
We're getting the Andrew Burr fan club starting to check in here in our Facebook Live comment section.
With the Purple Heart as well. Very nice. That's a good touch there.
You like that, don't you?
I do like that, yeah.
How much did you have to pay to get that?
A good bit of money. I think I recognize that name. I think I met that young lady at Furman in 1989. How hard is that to believe? I met her right in front of the dining hall door. That's where the magic happened, Dave.
Really?
That's where the magic happened.
We're talking about wife Stacy. Did you know that day?
If she's listening, yes, I knew that day. Absolutely.
And she's saying probably no, he didn't.
Yeah, not so much.
That's great. Handicap this tournament for us. I mean, you're obviously the team with the bullseye on your backs, but who do you expect to be the biggest challenge?
Sure, I think it's at Sanford, home field for them. At times that can be a distraction. Sometimes it can be helpful. They're a pretty disciplined team, so I think they'll use it to their advantage. So I think it's going to be Sanford. I mean, really, you look at the regular season, and for the first time, and again, the Southern Conference is so strong now, but it's kind of top 2 teams, Furman and Sanford, and then there's a huge cluster of teams right below that. So I think people are seeing this as Furman and Sanford, what's going to happen. Sanford's playing it at home, which certainly is can be helpful. But we look at the track record. I mean, we won it here at our place a couple of years ago, and that was the first time in however many years where the host team actually won the SoCon tournament. Mm-hmm. Sometimes there's extra pressures with that, and we've talked about it before. There is a huge value to getting on a bus and leaving campus and leaving all those distractions, and it's your friends, and it's homework, and it's professors, and I've got a paper due, and I've got a test next week. When you get on the bus and the door's shut and you head down the road, you just relax a little bit more. So lots of times I feel like we play better on the road. So we'll see if that happens here, and hopefully we make it to the tournament. We got to win on Sunday first, but then we'll head down for the semifinals next Friday.
Kelsey Weaver, she's really taken hold of goal in the past few games. She's had 5 solo clean sheets this year, and she's played the majority of the time in goal for the past, I guess, 2 or 3 weeks. Now, can you talk about her play and how she's improved?
She has been really, really strong. So when we talked several weeks ago, we had 2 goalkeepers. We still have 2 goalkeepers. They're still fighting for a starting spot, but we needed one of those 2 to step up and say, this is my spot, and Kelsey certainly has done that. It took a little bit of tough love, and we had some heart-to-heart conversations, and a lot of it was confidence related with her and her teammates' confidence, and it clicked, and really I can pinpoint it. It was a big time save at Mercer, goes high to her left, tips over the bar, and that was the save that turned it around for her, and her confidence level, the confidence of her teammates, I could just see it immediately rise, and she has been lights out ever since. She's been a total stud. So that has been great for us. Obviously, one of our main goals before every game is, how do we get a shutout? How are we difficult to score against? And she is obviously a big reason for that.
Isn't it interesting? And really, no matter the sport, as a coach, you know somebody's potential. You can see the potential for greatness in them, but it takes them realizing it themselves. It takes them developing the confidence, and that's the one thing that as a coach you can't give them. You can give them the instruction, you can give them opportunity, you can give them all the other things, but you can't give them that whatever that is inside that takes a good player and turns them into a great player. And it's funny how oftentimes it's just that one singular moment.
Yep. No, absolutely. I can't give them confidence. Confidence comes from them knowing they have put the work in to do their job. And sometimes you've put the work in, but you haven't been able to display it yet. Well, she was able to display it, and confidence has gone sky high.
You have like a 3-headed monster atop your offensive scoring chart here. You have Molly Dwyer with 9 goals, Trevor Aycock with 8, Caitlin Riley with 7, and all those girls have 7, 5, and 6 assists respectively. And then you have Rachel Shaw with 8 assists and Claudia Murphy with 7 assists. How beneficial is it to you as a team to kind of have multiple players not only to score goals but to assist on goals as well?
Yeah, no, absolutely. So those 3 up top and those 3 weapons, very difficult to defend. I mean, you look at our scouting report 2-3 years ago when we had Stephanie DeVita, who's one of the best goal scorers in the country, but that's what the Furman scouting report looked like. It was, you need to mark Stephanie DeVita, and there was really not a whole lot else there to it. Well, now the scouting report is tough because you can't guard all 3. You just can't. You got Rachel Shaw sitting in attacking center mid right behind it, and she's just getting a boatload of assists because she sees the field so well. She's got a very high soccer IQ. So, I think this is certainly the success for us is we're difficult to play against because we have so many weapons. You compare that to, we talked about Wofford earlier and what a great year Haley Youngener's having, but their scouting report on Wofford is a little bit different. It's, you must mark her out of the game. Mm-hmm. She cannot have an impact on your game. Well, if you say that about Kate Riley, well, that's great. What are you going to do about Trev and Molly? I mean, you can't do that with Furman right now, and that's what's making us so difficult to play against.
And it seems to me, at least from watching the games, that their speed is really some of the things that really separates them from most of the defenders, especially with Riley.
Yeah, Kate is a stud. If I could have a bunch of Kate Rileys, I'd have her playing in every position. I mean, she is one of our best defenders, and I've got her playing center forward, and purely for that reason of she applies pressure, she makes it difficult for them to build out of the back, and when we can win possession there, we're in a position to where we can actually create chances off of it. So she is a very good defender, very athletic young lady, and she's been a big part of our offense because she is so strong at defense.
All right, Andrew, we want to remind people again that the quarterfinals begin on Sunday. You will be here at home again at 2 p.m. Don't know who you're going to be facing yet, but we know that you guys will be there.
Yes, we will be there, and I guarantee it will not be a 0-0 tie. So come out and see it.
We hope that a bunch of people will be there because we got a lot of great soccer being played here, really men and women, two teams that have an opportunity to get to the NCAAs this year, and no pressure. You're leading the pack. You're the lead dog going into this thing.
I'll see what I can do.
Do it. Thank you, man.
Thank you, Dan.
Thanks, Andrew.
Thank you,
All
Forrest.
right, that is Andrew Burr, the women's soccer coach here at Furman University.